Good evening, everyone. Welcome. I hereby call to order the March 2021 meeting of the Village of Tivoli Board of Trustees. Would you please join me and rise for the Pledge of Allegiance to the flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you very much. We'll start with the clerk's report. Clerk Bruno, please.
Yes, so the past month in the clerk's office, the typical amount of trash tags were sold and 2 payrolls were processed. Our deputy clerk continues to provide support to planning and zoning boards, and some meetings have been remote and some have been here. And that's about it. Would you like to talk about the elections? Or?
I'd invite you to, as you're our election officer.
Oh, okay, sure. Congratulations, Trustee Esrati and Mayor Griffith.
Thank you.
The elections obviously were yesterday, and 9 p.m. I went in to see the inspectors, and there were a total of 79 votes that were cast. 77 went for Mayor Griffith. Trustee Esrati, you received 78, and our newest trustee will be incoming, Peter Baldino, received 75.
And I would like to note how pleased I am with this. This is the first time that I haven't come in last.
You came in first.
You came in first, yes. Congratulations, Susan and Peter, and thanks for everyone who came out. 79 people in the pandemic, and thanks to our inspectors and to Clerk Bruno, who's also the election officer and does all the work. And thanks to Dutchess County for lending us their box.
Exactly, yes, and that'll be returned tomorrow.
Okay,
A
excellent.
shout out to Jerry Scott,
Yeah.
who is cheerful. There was a serious absence of chocolate bars this time, but we gave her a turn and she was following protocol. And
We'll have her over again.
I believe Mark was also doing yesterday.
yes, he was. He was.
Okay, thank you, Clerk Bruno. Trustees, we have 2 sets of minutes in your binders. We have the regular meeting board minutes from February 17th and the March 10th workshop minutes. You've had a chance to review those. I'll ask for a motion to approve both sets of minutes.
So moved.
Second.
That was Schneider followed by Cole. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Moving on to treasurer's reports. The treasurer, Bonnie Day, lent me her hat today as I came in the office with no green. So I'm going to wear it during this treasurer's report presentation with gratitude to Treasurer Day. This month, out of the general fund, $51,844.43. And that figure was also our grand total, $51,844.43. Is there a motion to adopt the treasurer's report?
Second.
That was Major, followed by Patty. Any discussion? All in favor? Aye. And is there a motion to pay the bills?
So moved.
Is there a second? Okay, second was by Major. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Good. Remove the green hat now that the bills are paid, so. I believe we do not have a zoning report this month, is that correct?
That's, I'm sure, correct.
Yes, okay. We're not joined by members of the public tonight, so we'll get right into our very brief agenda, which is the presentation of the 2021-2022 tentative budget created by myself in my role as budget officer, submitted to the clerk ahead of the deadline, which is March 20th, and now she's going to present it to the board.
Everyone will get their copy.
Don't we should have a normal, right? No, I'm not coordinated enough to do it.
Thank you, Clerk Bruno.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you, Clerk Bruno.
You're welcome.
Trustees, you have that. As I said, this is the first draft of what will become the tentative budget. And as we've discussed in our workshop a few moments ago, I'm going to ask for a special meeting next Wednesday. So I'll ask for a motion to set a special meeting for 7 p.m. on Wednesday the 24th. Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right, so Clerk Bruno, you can notice that meeting, and we're going to get together and go through this line by line, penny by penny, and work on it as we see fit. And then once we've arrived at what we think is the best tentative budget in terms of revenues and expenditures, then we will notice a public hearing, which has to be held on the tentative budget by April 15th. So we will set that, notice that when it is set, but we can only tinker with it up until we notice that meeting. Then we have to not tinker with it, let the public react to a static document.
Yep.
Then once the public hearing is closed, based on what we've heard or other things we've thought about, we can work on it again. Yep. The next board meeting will be held Wednesday, April 21st at 7 p.m., preceded by a workshop at 6 p.m. here at the historic Watts de Peister Hall. And we will have a regular workshop on April 14th, 2021 at 7 p.m. Moving on to committee reports, Trustee Ezrati.
I just have a comment. The fire department, we had masks given to them by Rotary. And then we invited Mark Hildebrandt to the Rotary meeting this week. And I learned things I didn't know about the fire department, including the fact that we now have 50 active members, which is a good 20 active members more than it has been for the last 12 years, probably longer than that. And we have 20 interior fighters. The interior fighters are the guys who actually go into buildings and put out fires. So they have to have a higher level of training, be reasonably agile and smart about these things. That makes Tivoli's fire department the largest in Northeast Dutchess, which is pretty impressive. And it comes partly because of the good feeling that came after the fire department, after the firehouse burned, and the efforts that went into that. Partly because we have really strong leadership, not just from the chief, but also from some reorganization of the directorships, et cetera. That number of people will be in the LoSAP program, which will increase the amount of length of service awards that we're able to give. And I think that was fun to watch people from Red Hook observe this phenomenon in Tivoli, and I was very proud. Just to watch that. I'm still working with the Committee on Solid Waste. I think we've come up with some outlines of what we need to do, and I'm going to be consulting with the mayor this next week, to see if we can get a pretty firm recommendation for that going forward.
Thank you, Trustee Ezrati. Trustee Schneider?
Sure, so I'd like to share the Tivoli Village Court charge volume summary report for the month of February. 0 charges were disposed, 1 charge was received. $45 was collected and remitted to the state comptroller, and as always, thanks to Clerk McGarry for putting together this report.
Yes, charge volume, summary volume. There's 1 parking ticket in here.
Volume.
So I paid
Got it.
$45. We're almost almost through with the winter parking ordinance that goes till April 1st. And then you can park on the street again overnight. So, Trustee Cole.
Hi, everyone. I think most of you who follow the board know what I'm going to say. I'm going to say continue to please wear your mask, the green mask in honor of St. Patrick's Day. I don't have the mayor's green hat, but I have the green mask. Even with the vaccines out there, we still need to mask up and stay 6 feet apart. Take care of yourself, take care of your neighbors. If you can get the vaccine, there are appointments available. Please make that call, go online and book that appointment. Also, the usual reminder, as we move into spring, the snow has melted. Please, please pick up after your dogs. We love our dogs. We love to walk our dogs. But you got to pick up after your dog. So please continue to do that and just stay safe, everyone.
Thank you, Trustee Cole. Deputy Mayor Major.
Well, big events at Claremont, lots of them. So, the usual nerdery. So check it out at the Friends of Claremont website. The library has awesome things going on too. 2 things this month that I'm really excited about. Local author Samantha Hunt is going to be doing a talk on the 26th. And you may have read her novels, you may have read her short stories, you may have come across her in the New York Times or the New Yorker or at the bakery. Her stuff is just, it's incredible. I like to listen to audiobooks when I'm working. I find it, a good way to keep the song King of the Road from just looping over and over and over again. And Samantha Hunt is one of my favorite authors. So that is going to be a Zoom talk on the 26th. And then also on the 25th, Jeff Urban, who is an education specialist at the FDR site, is doing a Zoom talk on Eleanor Roosevelt and the tools and techniques that she used to sort of make the impossible possible. I mean, she was tireless, and she would, she would charm, she would cajole, she would bully, badger, and browbeat to, get her agenda through. And we could all learn a lot from Eleanor. So that's Tuesday the 25th. Spring is coming, and we should all be getting outdoors as much as possible because we've all had enough indoor time, perhaps. Montgomery Place is open. The site is open on the weekends. Again, wherever you go, it's going to be muddy, and the bays are certainly no exception to that, and the ticks are out. It's like it can be 18 degrees one day, and if it's 50 the next, there they are. So that's it. Get out. Have a good time. Learn some things.
Thank you.
Wear socks.
Where's that?
Wear socks. Tuck your pants into your socks.
Thank you, Deputy Mayor. I just want to acknowledge and thank everyone in the village for bearing with the considerable construction period that started again March 1st. Got a lot of compliments on Luizzi Brothers and the job they're doing and how efficient and quickly they particularly got through the center of the village, preparing the new water connections to the new water main. They've now gone across the bridge and up the hill to Clay Hill. They're almost to the new water tower. Then they will go back and do all the connections along Broadway. So we're far from done with this construction. I know there's been a lot of dust and a lot of gravel and some potholes and things. So drive slowly through the village, and we're going to do this once, hopefully for half a century. So got to get those new pipes in the ground, and everything will get cleaned up and restored, and the road will be repaved, and we'll get things back in good order when the work is done. The painting of the new water tower is going to start sometime around April 1st. And this question still gets asked often. It's going to have the same paint scheme as the 1938 tank, which is to say blue on top, blue on the bottom, and Tivoli 3 times, a nice pleasing angle in the round. And the painting is supposed to take about 10 to 14 days. So suddenly we're going to see some good strong blue up there on the new tank. Which leads to the demolition of the old tank, which right now is slated for the back half of July. Obviously, we want to get the new tank online, tested, and in use before we take the old one down. So right now, it's looking like the end of July. Things could change depending on weather, etc. When that happens, a large area of the park is going to be fenced off and unusable for about 3 weeks. That's going to include the skate ramp, the basketball courts, the community garden, and where the ice rink frame is, that's where they're going to stage the big crane. Now, I don't know if it's going to be as big as the crane that they used to put up the other tower, but it's going to be pretty darn big, if not the same size. So safety is going to be paramount, and we're going to be very clear and strict about people staying away from that construction site during the demolition. So make some other plans for your recreation second half of July. We are getting closer to the installation of our new carpets here in Village Hall. I think we're probably about 2 weeks out still. The carpets have arrived at our vendor, and then they're being sized, and they put an edge on them. So that'll be really nice. Hopefully we'll let some of the spring mud go into the old carpets and bring in the new ones when it's not so muddy. The local waterfront revitalization program update, for which we won a $50,000 grant, is recommencing. That had a citizen committee that was working with our consultants in planning and engineering, and like many things, it just got stopped when COVID came. So they've had they're basically starting all over with a kickoff meeting, which happened by Zoom last week, and our committee and consultants are having another meeting next week. And that's about a 2-year process. First stage is reviewing the old documents. Tivoli achieved many of the things that were laid out in the old LWRP from 1991, like get a foothold at the riverfront was achieved, for example. But eventually, we want to have a number of public visioning meetings and really hear from the residents and the community members as to what they want the future of the village to look like. That's a big part of the process. So we sort of can't gather yet, but because this thing is so long, we may be having some of those when the time is right. Maybe they'll still be outside at the park, spread out, but it's going to be a really exciting thing to go through over these 2 years, because it really is a chance to say, what is this community? What are our values? What kind of quality of life things do we want? And to enshrine them in a document that then guides all the planning for, until the next update. The last one took 30 years, so it could be what defines the community for several decades. And lastly, I'm really humbled and grateful to the voters in Tivoli for giving me the opportunity to serve for a 4th term. There's still a lot of things I would like to do for Tivoli, and with this board and with all the citizens, I'm really excited about sticking at it for at least 2 more years and getting a few more things done off the list. And again, congratulations to Trustees Roddy, and congratulations and welcome to Peter Baldino, who will be our new trustee, and look forward to having him join the team. So with that, trustees, do we have any other comments or things to discuss before we adjourn?
Actually, I do. If I may address Tivolians and the board. As most of you know, I think at this point, and certainly if you voted, this is my final official trustee board meeting with our board here in Tivoli. I did not, as you know, run for re-election due to commitments in my professional life that just, there's only so many hours in a day, and was not able to continue the commitment and time that the village and the board deserve. And I too welcome Peter to the board. He's got a great board to work with. And I just wanted to say thank you. I wanted to say thank you to the village of Tivoli, to this board. It's been an eventful first and last term as a trustee. I don't know how many trustees start their term with a fire at the firehouse, a major, iconic, very important building of St. Sylvia's going up for sale, and then just to throw the cherry on top of the sundae, a global pandemic, which shuts the village down. Now, I don't know, maybe you guys had that happen in your first term. And it prompted a lot of extra meetings and a lot of roll up your sleeves and get in there. And I really, truly loved every moment of it. Because being in this role, in this place at this time, I consider to be a great honor. And to be able to serve my friends, my neighbors. In the past couple of years, we've lost a lot of people in our village, young and old. I mean, I can't believe it was only just a little over a year ago we lost Aubrey Hassan, who was born and raised here, who came home from the hospital to here in Tivoli. We lost Lydia Gordier, our former mayor's wife and a force in her own right. And there have been so many more from young and old, and we have honored them all. And I think that's extremely important. I have enjoyed our festivals, our Winterfest. I have enjoyed, as we have gathered for those potlucks, barred students and full-time residents, and it's been an amazing journey. And I've now been in Tivoli almost 20 years, and I just wanted to take the opportunity to say thank you to the village, thank you to my colleagues on the board, thank you to Clerk Bruno, to Treasurer Day, to all who have welcomed me over these past 2 years. I will miss serving you, and I will continue to do so as long as I am in Tivoli, to serve you as a neighbor and as a friend, and anything I can do to help the village and this board, I will continue to do so.
Trustee Cole. Thank you, Angela, for everything you brought to this role. It's been tremendous, and you'll be missed very much.
It's been a heck of a couple of years.
That it has.
I think that's a perfect note on which to adjourn. Not much more to add to that. So, motion to adjourn? Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you, everyone. Have a great evening. Happy St. Patrick's Day.
Woohoo!
Did they say Patrick's Day? Take care.